Hey there, it's Joy Foster and founder of Tech Pixies. I am so excited you are here. If you've never heard of me before or you've never heard of Tech Pixies before, let me just give you a brief overview. Tech Pixies has been helping women return to work, change careers, or start a business since 2015. We've worked with over 5,000 women in our free training series to help them start that journey of returning to work, changing careers, or starting a business. We have just last year won the Digital Women Digital Course of the Year award, and I'm so excited about that. What I'm really excited about, though, is diving into our free training series. And this is the first of 3 free trainings. And this is all about how to do 3 simple social media steps to get a quantum leap life. So if you're just joining us and you don't know what a quantum leap is, let me just walk you through that. So this is you, and you want to go here. So this is your quantum leap. Now, you might want to return to work. You might want to change careers. You might want to start a business. I've done all 3 of those things. You might just want to upskill social media for your own benefit. And you're sort of thinking, well, how am I going to do that? That seems like I've got to do about 100 steps to get there. And what I'm going to do is show you how to do it in 3 social media steps. Okay, that's how we're going to get this quantum leap. I should probably start by telling you 2 of my quantum leap stories, which involve social media. So the first is when I was on the United States archery team. So I competed in the I competed on the U.S. archery team, and I tried to make the team for the Olympics in 2004 and 2008. And unfortunately, I didn't make the team, but I did live at the Olympic Training Center, and I trained with one of the best coaches in the world. But one of the things that came out of that was an opportunity to go to the Beijing Olympics and work at the Olympic News Service. And so I said, yes, I'll go to the Olympics. That'll be great. And that'll be a lot of fun. Now, my ex-boyfriend from 7 years ago, who I hadn't spoken to or seen, was also going to be at the Olympics. He happened to be the Swiss rowing coach at the time. He was on the British Olympic team as a rower when I'd met him 7 years prior. But I knew he was going to be at the Olympics in Beijing, and I was going to be in the Olympics in Beijing, but I had no way to contact him or reach him. And I thought, well, we're both going to be in Beijing. It's been 7 years. Wouldn't it be fun to meet up? So I found him on Facebook. This is a true story. And I direct messaged him. This is before they had Messenger, but it's basically sending a private message to him. And I said, look, I'm going to be in China. You're going to be in China. Let's let bygones be bygones. Let's meet up and have a beer and just catch up. So we agreed to do that. Now, little did I know, he never, ever, ever checks Facebook now, and he never, ever did then. It was just that one day he happened to check my direct messages. Or his direct messages, and he replied back to me. We meet up in Beijing, and little did I know, but 10 days later, I was going to be engaged. Now, he's now my husband. We now have children together, all that craziness. But it was really, really a lot of fun. And it was a real shock to my system from someone who had been wanting to get married for years. For 7 years, I'd had this void in my life, to then 10 days later being engaged. Now, what that meant was I had to move across the ocean. I'm originally from Colorado. I had to move from California, sell everything I owned, moved from California all the way over to Lucerne, Switzerland, which is where he was living. I suddenly became a trailing spouse, and that's how I ended up over in Europe. I've been living in Europe since 2008. I started in Switzerland, and now I live in the UK. So you might hear an American accent, but I am a permanent resident of the UK. So I found myself in Switzerland, and I found myself newly married, and 10 months later, after we got engaged, newly married, and we got pregnant on the honeymoon. So here I am, an expecting mother in a country where I don't speak the language and I don't know anyone. And I thought, oh, this is a problem, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has it. And turns out I wasn't. Turns out there were a lot of people in Lucerne who did not speak German and who were trailing spouses as well, and who were going through major life changes like having babies and getting married, and they didn't know anything about each other or the local community. So I set up a blog, and it was all about connecting people to each other and the local community. That blog went on to social media. We had a Facebook group. We leveraged the other Facebook groups. We used to write posts on our blog and share them into the groups. This is back in 2008. And this blog that was an idea, a desire of my heart to help the community to connect with each other, it turned into a community center and a annual bilingual magazine. it became an amazing community that's still going to this day, many, many, many years after it was started. And it all began with a desire in my heart to get married, although I didn't know Facebook Messenger was going to be the way I was going to find and connect with my old boyfriend, who then became my husband, and also to connect other people to each other in the local community. I didn't know that's what I was going to do. I didn't know I was going to use social media to do it. But what I did know was that I knew what my heart wanted. My heart wanted to get married, and my heart wanted to help people in a similar situation to me. I happened to leverage social media in order to do both of those things. So that's what a quantum leap is. I've just explained 2 quantum leaps to you, and I've just explained how I did it with social media. Now, I can't promise you that you're going to get married. I can't promise you that you're going to create this big community in another country. But what I can promise you is if you lean into what you love, you're going to start to find the path and the direction you need to get there. And I'm going to help you find that path, particularly with social media. So let me just flip this around and walk you through the training that we're going to go through the next few days. So the first training is today. It's all about what you would love. And the second training is all about activating you. So activate your heart and then activate you. Okay. And this is you on social media, right? And then the third thing is how to activate your brain. So we're going to talk a lot about that more later on in the series. But today's all about what would you love. So what I've got here is a version of the Wheel of Life. If you've ever done any kind of life coaching, the Wheel of Life is something that helps you to identify where you are in certain areas of your life. Now, I've borrowed these 4 areas from one of my mentors. I love the way that she thought these through, and I can't make it any better. So I'm going to stick with this. I love this so much. But you've got relationships, you've got time and money freedom, you've got health and fitness, and you've got career. So one of the things when you're trying to figure out, well, what would I love and where am I going to have this quantum leap? It's to identify where the biggest gaps in your life are. So you can put little lines on here like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this, obviously down here is not going so well and over here is going better. So let's say in our time, money, freedom, we're at a 4. And let's say in our relationships, we're at a 7. And so that's where we're starting out. So there's our 4 and there's a 7. And let's say our health and fitness is at a 5. Okay. And then let's say our career is at a 2. All right. So maybe you're not working right now, or maybe the job you're doing right now isn't very satisfactory, or maybe you've had a dream for a business that you wanted to start for years and you've never taken the plunge to actually do that. You can have a career as an entrepreneur, right? That's a career. So that's where you are now. Okay. This is what your Wheel of Life looks like now. Now here's the twist. And this is something that I created a couple of years ago, and I wrote about it in my book, Social Media Success, and people absolutely loved it. So I'm going to share it here with you as well. And the way that this works, this is how you identify what area in your life you want to see the quantum leap happen in, where you want the biggest amount of change. And what we know is if one area of your life changes for the better, the rest of your life changes for the better as well. So let's just say our time, money, freedom is currently at a 4, and we'd love that to come up to a 6. And let's say our relationships are at a 7, and we'd love that to come up to a 9. So we're going from a 7 to a 9. Okay. And here we're going from a 4 to a 7. I think that's what I said. Or it's 4 to a 7, 4 to a 6, whatever. It doesn't matter. So then your health and fitness, let's say your health and fitness is sitting at a 6 right now, and you want to take that to a 7. You're pretty happy with it. And, I got to say I know I'm speaking to a British audience here. Americans go all the way to the 10 or the 11s or the 12s, but I know a British audience, they like to keep it simple. They like to keep it, under the 10. That's okay. I'm happy with that. And then in your career, let's say you want to go for an 8. You're going to really go for it. You're going to go for this 8 for your career. So the way you identify your biggest gap is to take your old score and then your new score. So in the relationships, we have a 2. Okay. And in time, money, freedom, we have a 3. And in health and fitness, we have a 1. And in career, we have a 6. So the number one thing that's going to make the biggest impact in your life is to focus on your career. okay? Because that's where the biggest gap in where you are and where you want to be. So remember, your red could be 3 months from now. It could be a year from now. It could be 6 months from now. But if I were to say to you, what would you love 3 months from now? What would you love 3 months from now? And the red represents that. Then what you're saying to me is, Joy, actually, based on this, I want to focus on my career and my time, money, freedom, which of course, if you've got your career going in the right direction and you start to get some income in, there's your money freedom. Maybe you want to become an entrepreneur and you want to start up a business so you can have more flexible time, right? That's what time freedom is. So you get the career sorted out, and then the time, money, freedom comes. And then with your time, money, freedom, you've got time to be with the ones you love even more, if that's what you want to use it for. So that's what the wheel of life now and the wheel of life 3 months from now looks like. Now, I don't want to leave you just with this. I want to give you a special gift. So for listening to this and for watching this, I want to share with you a free gift that we have. So if you go to techpixies.com/Canva, CANVA, okay, techpixies.com/Canva, you're going to get a free gift. And this is where we're going to teach you how to take your wheel of life and turn it into a Canva vision board. Now, what is Canva? Canva is the top online design tool for social media. It's totally free. You can upgrade to a pro account, but for this exercise, the free account is perfectly fine. And what you can do is you can take the top 3 things on your wheel of life and you can turn them into a vision board. What you would like to see happen in your life in 3 years or so. So I have a vision board hanging up behind my board here, and this is for my next 3 months, the things that I'm working on. And I have the big vision down on the bottom and the things I'm going to do every day to get there. So the vision board is really, really important for helping you to picture where you want to be. And this is an important step in the activating the heart part of our training. So just remember, right now, you don't need to know which networks you're going to be on. You don't need to know what you're going to post. You don't need to know when you're going to post. You don't need to know what you're going to do about the social media trolls that probably will never show up. We're going to talk about that in training number 2. But I want you right now to figure out why you want to use social media, what kind of quantum leap you want to have. And I would love it if you're watching this video on social media. I'd love for you to put a comment and tell me if you've figured this out, if you've done your piece of work with the Wheel of Life. If you're watching this on our website, I'd love for you to email us at support@techpixies.com and tell us what you would love. Put the topic of the email, the subject of the email, what I would love. But of course, if you're on social media, just leave a comment and tell us what you'd love. I would love to know what you would love. And I would really love it if you'd come back for the second training. And I'd also love it if you'd grab your free gift, because you're going to really enjoy doing this exercise, especially if you just enjoyed doing this one. See you in the next training. Thanks for joining me today.